Don in London, hello, it's December 31st, 2008. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. My substance over those years was alcohol, and my behaviour mostly workaholic and relationship-aholic, or however it is expressed. Serial person trying to make things perfect and never reaching perfection, nor will I ever reach perfection. Simply I've learned that each day is a bit of progress in a life, and if I keep to a 24-hour programme, as the Fellowship of AA suggests, that's Alcoholics Anonymous, I have a fighting chance to make life work in this daily programme. And I go to meetings of AA as often as I can, at least once a day if I can, and I have somewhere to go and I can get there, or more if I feel inclined to do so, and I often do on weekends, just to get wisdom and learn a little bit more experience, strength and hope about how to make a day work. And the best way is face to face. So meetings are, I suppose, an essential part of my life, simply because when people express their experience, strength and hope, it's best heard in reality and not necessarily on YouTube. So these videos have always been put out by me as an opportunity to hear some experience, strength and hope, which I've learned along the way. So there we go. And I've been asked if I keep on going for a while, and the answer is yes, I will. Because it feels right to share where fellowship can take us and how fellowship helps make life work a day at a time. In the fellowship, when we do go to meetings, we have the AA preamble, which is said at the beginning of every meeting, and it's on this little card which can be got from meetings. I think that's the best way of trying to get one. And the preamble says, AA, Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And the whole programme of AA its principles, if you like, are open, honest, willing for the individual on a daily basis. And when we're in fellowship, it's about unity, service and recovery. So as an individual striving for open, honest and willing, and also striving to be part of in unity, service and recovery, because we know if we work together a day at a time, we have a better chance of understanding, gaining some wisdom of how we may be in this very precious moment of now. And that's for me the spiritual connection to truth. And for me truth is spiritual. And as I've often said, an Archbishop of Canterbury once, when asked what is spiritual, said simply it is the ability to cope. And I've heard that a few times recently in meetings, so I wasn't the only one who saw the programme. Anyway, what else do I use apart from learning from others on a daily basis in meetings? Well, I use the AA literature, and this is one of the books I've featured all year, Daily Reflections. And in it, for each month, it covers one of the 12 steps in the action programme for individuals. 12 steps of action to make life work in 24 hours. And the other book I've been using frequently is As Bill Sees It, one of the co-founders. So with the As Bill Sees It, I've done it linearly through the book. So I've missed a few days on YouTube, so I'm only on page 318 of that one. But in the Thought for the Day book, I am on December the 31st, and it says here, Daily Resolutions. The idea of 24-hour living applies primarily to the emotional life of the individual. Emotionally speaking, we must not live in yesterday, nor in tomorrow. It comes from As Bill Sees It, page 284. And it goes on to say, a new year, 12 months, 52 weeks, 365 days, 8,760 hours, or 525,600 minutes. A time to consider directions, goals and actions. I must make some plans to live a normal life, but also I must live emotionally within a 24-hour frame. For if I do, I don't have to make the New Year's resolutions. I can make today and every day a New Year's Day. I can decide, today I will do this, today I will do that. Each day I can measure my life by trying to do a little better, by deciding to follow God's will or good conscience in my case, and by making an effort to put principles of our AA program into action. So the most important principles for me simply are open, honest and willing, and if I get anywhere near that without some sort of filter or denial coming in, then I'll be on to a winner. And at the same time, unity, service and recovery. And last night I went to a meeting of AA, one of my local ones, and for whatever reason the secretary wasn't there, and the stand-in didn't turn up, and there was no chair. That's the person who would share their wisdom. So I was asked to fill in. So I filled in as secretary and asked one of the body of people there to just share their experience, strength and hope. And what a torrent of wisdom we got. It was good. And it was all about recovery, a day at a time. And this person had many years of experience of AA, and whenever life went wrong, it was often because they diverted away from the simple principles of open, honest, willing, unity, service and recovery. And it wasn't wrong in the sense of bad things happening which were monumental or against the principles of living. It was just that their head became full of yesterday and tomorrow, and not able to deal with the moment of now. And that can happen to anybody. It can happen to me. And part of the reason for doing these videos is to debunk this idea that we cannot share our failure to get on with life. What is a failure? It could be a relapse or whatever it is. And the overriding concern in the past was if people saw people in AA relapsing and not being able to get the program, what on earth would they think of AA? Well, the simple answer is AA and the principles remain as strong as ever. It's just we individuals are not perfect. So it's important that if people do have a relapse, they keep on coming back as often as they can to keep on getting the wisdom on how to live one day at a time. And the best way is in company and not isolated and not away from something which will give them hope, experience, some strength and some wisdom. And it's so important. For me, I don't see failure. When somebody does have a relapse, and if I were to have a relapse, it would show my humanity or my humanness as somebody making progress. And I don't want to relapse, and I don't want to go down that route as an example, but I also know that anything in life can make such a great upset that could happen to me. So my attitude is very simple. Anonymity is a sanctuary, and it enables me to find the truth of me on a daily basis. Not perfect, merely human, and susceptible to a disease which has got me by the throat most of the time. So AA keeps me sober one day only, and part of this, as Bill sees it, is a message of forgiveness on page 318. Telephone salespeople help me from them. I'll go back to where I was, as Bill sees it, on forgiveness. Through the vital fifth step, we began to get a feeling that we could be forgiven, no matter what we had thought or done. Often it was while working on this step with our sponsors or spiritual advisors that we first felt truly able to forgive others, no matter how deeply we felt they had wronged us. Our moral inventory had persuaded us that all-round forgiveness was desirable, but it was only when we resolutely tackled step 5 that we inwardly knew we'd be able to receive forgiveness and give it too. And this is a big bad world, and sometimes there are consequences which we cannot get over. But overall, for me, the gift of forgiveness, and it's forgiving myself in the first place to having the ailment of alcoholism, because once we're in the disease, we cannot get out of it. We are not ever recovered. So we have to work and learn life one day at a time. It works for me. I sincerely hope it will work for you. And finally, I would just like to wish everyone a Happy New Year and a safe 2009. Happy New Year.